Hi, my name's Avi Ghosh. I'm the head of marketing for securities and exchanges at SIX, and I'm here with Jos Dijsselhof, the CEO of SIX, to look at some of the challenges he's been facing over the past few months and some of the challenges he sees ahead for SIX as a whole and some of the businesses we run. Jos, hi. Thanks for joining us here.
Thanks for having me.
All right. So, SIX, you've been in charge now for close to 6 months or more. What are the challenges, the biggest challenges you've faced in your experience so far?
Yeah, thank you, Avi. I think the first challenge for me was, of course, to immerse myself into the company, to get to know the company, to understand the people, the way the company operates, the way the company operates with its customers, with its stakeholders, and to really get a good feel on the way SIX is currently operating. And the way, from the mandate and the strategy set by the board, SIX needs to operate in the future, and how do we bridge the gap from where we are today to where it needs to be in the future.
And how successful do you think we've been so far in building that bridge to where we need to be in the future?
I think we've been successful in starting that journey, but it is a journey and it will never be over, but sure. I think there are clearly some milestones we need to reach. I think the first thing I wanted to do is to make sure we energize our people, to make sure everybody feels we're on an exciting journey. We're on a journey that is going to be interesting, fulfilling for our people, for our customers, and for our key stakeholders. And I think we focused a lot on that by changing the organization, by working on culture, by creating new ideas, new initiatives, and really creating new energy within the organization. I think that has gone really well.
I mean, but that's part of transformation. But in the performance realm, I mean, over the last 6 months, our results have also been great at SIX. I mean, are you happy with those, or? I'm
very happy that in the middle of this big transformation and trying to change things in the organization, the underlying, or not the underlying, the key result of this organization has been really good. The first 6 months, the financial results have been extremely good, especially the top line. I think the top line growth and hitting the 1 billion in 6 months is the first time in SIX's history. This is very energizing. We also spend a bit more money on M&A and on all kinds of other initiatives, so we need to keep an eye on money that we spend to make sure we spend it on the right things and that we keep maintaining our profitability. But overall, I'm very happy. Yeah.
But overall, I mean, you are not just responsible for the stock exchange, you're responsible for the entire market infrastructure for Switzerland. Yeah. How are you seeing the future unfold for the infrastructure business as a whole? I mean, what are your views on that?
What's very clear to me when I joined, even in the joining process, but also talking to key customers and key shareholders, and even to our own staff, is that we need to have more impact. We need to be more visible, more present, and more impactful, which means we need to do more services, do some of the services that we currently deliver and some of the infrastructure that we provide smarter, better, in a different structure, more cost efficient. We need to be more agile, and we need to become more meaningful in terms of size also, both nationally and internationally, to make sure we keep pushing the competitiveness of the Swiss finance plots and the international customers we support.
But given that one of the key strengths or core strengths and defining characteristics of our organization as an infrastructure is stability, reliability, dependability, how do you manage those imperatives with the idea that you've just talked about being agile and moving into an innovation or being more innovative? How does something that is solid as a rock dance?
Yes. I think this is the beauty of the challenge we have. And we need to continue to be a rock where we need to be a rock, but we don't need to be a rock everywhere. Okay. And that's why we've created ideas, environments, new departments to dance more. Okay. And we make sure that where we need to be stable, we are still solid as a rock. So we've created this innovation and digital department, which basically galvanizes all the innovation capabilities, knowledge, research, and delivery into one new organization. We've given that organization also a venture fund to invest in new initiatives. Of course, the business units themselves are the main driver and also the main recipient of any transformation and innovation. And I see a lot of initiatives there also. And these things need to come together. And I think what we try to do as a management team to make sure that people understand where is the room to dance, to play, to innovate, to try new things out, and try things 4, 5, 6, 7 times until you succeed. And we're in our organization knew we need to maintain, to be this solid, predictable, high quality infrastructure provider. I think by giving that clarity and not applying the same model everywhere, we will master this challenge.
And your sense is we're definitely getting there. There are ideas coming out that are being put into the mainstream.
Yeah. I think there are lots of ideas coming out, and we also see that not all ideas flies, but there are some really good ideas that will fly. I see the energy of the people to get engaged, left, right, and center. People don't sit around and wait for the innovation department to do stuff. I see a lot of ideas coming out of other parts of the organization and engaging with the innovation department. Of course, there's a whole industry out there and a whole ecosystem of startups and fintechs, which are highly engaged with us through F10 and our innovation department, and are very interested in getting some funding out of our venture capital fund. So I see a lot of energy there. I think it's maintaining and increasing even the velocity and that momentum. And then, of course, delivering some of these initiatives. That's going to be key. We promise some things to the market, like we create a corporate API so that we can get third-party service providers to connect to corporate bank accounts. In our payments area, if we say that we will deliver that at point X, we need to deliver that. I think that's going to be critical. So we have the ideas, the momentum, but delivery has to be there also.
Moving on just to have quickly talk about the exchange. This year we've seen a lot more issues on the stock exchange in the first 6 months of the year than we saw in the entire year of 2018, or 17 rather. Yeah. This is as much to do with the exchange, but I think it's also a lot to do with the destination of Switzerland as a marketplace. What's your take on what makes Switzerland so attractive, and what we can do to keep it even more attractive in the future?
I think there are a couple of elements, and I'll run by them in perhaps not in an order of priority, but they're all important. I think first of all we have a very efficiently run stock exchange. So it's working well, it's highly available. The process on how to IPO or raise capital on our exchange is very clear, is proven. We have the right stakeholders involved, so people know if we engage in this process at 6, then it will be successful, predictable, and we will get a good IPO. Second is, of course, there is a wealth management industry, banking industry in Switzerland, which is so strong and so has so much interest from investors that investing in IPOs and issues, raising new capital, this is just a very good place for people to do that. There's the whole ecosystem there. Thirdly, if you talk about liquidity, depth of liquidity, pricing of transactions, then SIX is top notch. It's highly reputable, and most of the, let's say, price making, if not all, is happening on our exchange and not on alternative MTFs. And I think in general the Swiss economy is innovating, is growing. We see areas where we have very strong sectors on our exchange already, and that will attract new players and other players to join, to have comparables on our exchange.
Right. But this year you're heading off to Sibos.
Yes.
This is your first trip as the CEO of SIX. What are the top 3 things you want to get out of it in terms of achievements, experience, anything?
I think the top priority for me will be to get a good feel, which is basically something I want to take away from Sibos, is to get a good feel whether my read on the industry is also what I hear from my colleagues, partners and competitors at Sibos. Secondly, of course, I want to tell our story. I want to tell our story of, as you explained it earlier in the interview, of SIX having the reputation of being a solid infrastructure provider with high quality, which is highly reputable in the market, and people like to do business with us. But I think people don't know well enough how much we are focusing on innovation and how much we want to reshape the industry and parts of the industry that we support as an infrastructure. And I want to make sure that people at Sibos understand that story and have a clear view of SIX as a company and what our future is and where we're heading at. And thirdly, I will meet many old friends, new friends at Sibos, because I've been there many times in the past. And of course now I'm there in a new job, but still it will be good to see a lot of my good friends there also.
Great. Jos, thanks for coming by. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Avi.
Take care.